Welcome. This is Wiebke Renner from Renner Resonance. I'm a life coach and resonance trainer. On the call with me today is Nicola Arnold from Enkindle LifeCoaching. Nicola is a certified professional coactive coach, and she's on a mission to make more people smile and feel happy to be themselves. Today we'll be talking about gratitude. Hello, Nicola.
Hello, Wiebke.
What are you grateful for today?
Today I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak with you and to share my passion.
Ah, fantastic. Welcome. Tell us more. What made you realize that gratitude is such a significant topic?
Well, I think certainly in recent months for myself, I have felt that looking at life through a different perspective gives me an opportunity to appreciate so much that's more around me. I think the opportunity to become more present and to live life in the moment has really allowed me to open my eyes up to the beauty of the world and the family and friends that I have and all those opportunities that surround themselves with that. And I think also working with the clients and the people that I spend time with as well, that allowing them to actually connect with gratitude was something that doesn't necessarily come easy to people. I think we take a lot of things for granted and don't take time to just take a moment.
Yes, absolutely. It sounds like you are really embracing everything that's happening around you when you speak from the perspective of gratitude.
Yes, I think that's really true. I think I've really opened my eyes to the rich tapestry of life that surrounds us. I notice so much more colour in the world, and even just, if I'm going out for a walk, I notice the flowers that are around me and the buildings that are around me, and I think it's just about sometimes slowing down and being more mindful to the world around us.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the moment where you realized, wow, I'm now implementing this. I'm just being more grateful on a regular basis?
Oh, that's a great question. I think for me there is something around being present to the moment rather than just thinking forward all the time. I think as human beings we're programmed to always be considering the next moment, the next week, the next month, and what we want to do in the future. Yeah. Rather than actually sometimes just standing still and appreciating that moment and the experience that we're in. And I think for me, within the last couple of years, I have altered my perception and tried when I'm out and about and even when I'm just at home to pause every once in a while and to take a breath and really just look around me.
Wow. And what are the benefits of doing that?
I think, speaking personally, there is a real opportunity to just soak up that atmosphere that surrounds me and to really appreciate what life offers me. And that's a really beautiful thing. I think we take an awful lot of things for granted, even just waking up in the morning and being able to get up and go for a walk or go to work. And even that in itself is an opportunity to connect with gratitude and really appreciate the health that we have.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It really sounds to me that gratitude is a doorway to seeing that this is already life. And sometimes we are, or that I know that from myself, sometimes I think this is only the general rehearsal, and when is it that life really begins?
Yes, of course. Yes, we're sometimes already so in the fast lane, aren't we? And sometimes it is about slowing down.
Totally. And I also believe there is a connection to, is that already enough, who I am and what I have accomplished? And that doesn't mean that I can't go forward, but is it not enough what I have? I think that is often the assumption that we make, that something else needs to be reached before we can finally be grateful
I agree. I think that's a really good point. I think a lot of the time we don't necessarily just take a moment and say to ourselves, what am I proud of? Where am I celebrating the successes that I already have, whether that be a successful job, a loving family and friends, a roof over our heads to live in. So I think it's important to do that, and I think it's something that a lot of us don't pay attention to or practice regularly.
Absolutely, yeah. And I assume you know more about the background from a neuroscience perspective. Is that true? Do you want to share something about that?
I shall share a little bit for you. There's been lots of studies around gratitude and gratitude exercises. Certainly lots of work done by psychologists, and one of those is called Seligman. And his studies suggest that even after 1 week of participating in gratitude exercises, where you would spend a few moments each day just recording, either just in your head or writing down things that you're grateful for, even just after 1 week of doing that, people still felt happier months later from doing that exercise.
Yeah.
And our thoughts correspond to a network of neurons. And these neural connections get stronger the more often they're called upon. So it strengthens the pathways in our brain, which is associated with perspectives. So therefore, the more we connect with gratitude, the more it becomes a regular routine for us, and that strengthens those pathways in the brain.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds really, it's very closely connected to coaching. What would you say about the relationship between gratitude and coaching?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's one of those questions that when you ask people, what are you grateful for today? It can be such a powerful question that literally stops people in their tracks. Yeah. And again, a lot of people come to coaching because they feel they're not enough. They feel they want to develop, they want to be bigger. And sometimes it's about just getting them to take a moment and just stand where they are now and appreciate what they already have. And just sometimes that simple question of, what are you grateful for today? What can you thank yourself for? Can be so powerful and really enlightening to them as well.
I love what you say. I think it's such a good foundation to move forward from when you first appreciate where you are and what you have, because there's always something you can find no matter what the circumstances are.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. And I had another thought. Also what I see is giving oneself credit. That is what I see often with my clients, that they are having a hard time to be proud of something. I don't know if that's also a German habit, that if you accomplish great things, that's how it's supposed to be. And only if we don't accomplish what we wanted, then it's our fault. But giving ourselves credit is not really a habit. And I think it's important, if we want to know what we are capable of, that we also take track of that.
I agree. I think just sort of how we're made up as humans, and perhaps, historically, we're not very good at sharing with each other what we're proud of. And
why is that?
Yeah, there's a real tendency to say, if you start telling people what you're doing or what you've achieved, that actually you're showing off, or you're trying to show that you're better than somebody else, rather than actually being in that moment of just celebrating those successes.
Yeah.
And for some people, that success could just be being able to get up in the morning and go to work and do a day's work and come home. It doesn't have to be anything massive. It's whatever is important to them and celebratory to them.
Absolutely, and that's the important piece, that we do not compare it to others, but that we still can be proud of what we have accomplished, what's important to us.
Yes. Interestingly, as I said that, I've placed my hand on my heart, and it is almost about that heart connection. what matters to us personally. Like you said, not comparing to others.
Yeah. And still there's something about sharing. If someone is able to share it with the world like you do, it gives others permission to look at what's important to them, what they have accomplished.
Yeah, yes, and that's really interesting that you say that, because I think there are a lot of people out there that do amazing work and really help people in the world, but are too almost afraid to share things in terms of how they might be judged for that. And I think for me, my mission is simple. I just want to make people smile. I want people to feel happy to be themselves, happy to be in their own skin and proud of who they are. And I've come to the conclusion for myself that if I don't give myself permission to share that with others, then I'm not being true to me. And there may be many others out there who just need to hear that it's okay to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And also, it's not even about accomplishing things. It's just about being yourself and being okay with that.
Yeah.
And also letting the world know, actually, I'm okay with who I am, and I hope you are too.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I would almost say gratitude is also a antidote to feeling fearful. What's your take on that?
Yes, again, it's a real opportunity to look from that different lens at life, and that sometimes, fear itself can be much stronger than actually doing something or just looking at it from a different way, and even just talking about it too. And certainly with gratitude, either by writing it down or even just speaking it aloud, really gives you that opportunity to just put it out there in the universe and say what's going on.
Yeah, and it's so interesting if we write it down or we speak it out loud, we share it with someone or even within ourselves, something happens emotionally. And the reaction is so fast. I can really feel that in my body, moving from fear to appreciation. I don't know what my question is about that. It's just my own awareness.
No, I think that's really true. And for me, I have a physical gratitude jar with different coloured pieces of paper. And there is something really lovely about sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and writing down things that you're grateful for. And it could even be just, I've noticed a beautiful flower today, or I've had a lovely conversation with somebody. And to be able to fold up that piece of paper and put it into that jar and know that all those different coloured pieces of paper in that jar is something positive about my life.
Fantastic.
And I can take them out that jar at any point and reread them.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How do you bring this practice to life? And you shared that already, that piece. Do you have a regular practice? Do you do that every day, or how many pieces of paper you put into that jar, or how often you reread them? How do you do that?
So for me, there are many people who find literally that they will write a gratitude journal every day or add contributions to their jar every day. For me, I think I practice gratitude every day, perhaps within myself, and I will speak it to myself, but I tend to just write down items in my jar when I feel I want to. So if my intuition says, you know what, this is a really great thing to look back on, then I'll write that down. But I normally would write down, 2 or 3 things a week would go into the jar. And I love that opportunity to just sit with pen and paper to do that. I think that's something a lot of people, we don't do anymore. We use so many online and electronic resources these days, don't we?
Yeah.
And again, revisiting that journal or that jar is a fantastic way to really uplift the mood. So if you do feel fear has taken over, or you just want to be reminded, And I tend to maybe just take a few pieces of paper back out my jar once every 3 or 4 months just to see what's going on. But it's a lovely exercise to do over Christmas as well at the end of the year, to really look back on what's made you smile and what's made you happy.
Yeah, yeah. And you always know the jar is there. Yeah. I think that might also have an impact on how often you use it. Like, yes, you can use it whenever you want. You know.
Yes, and I think there's lots of different ways of connecting with gratitude now. As we say, we've talked about journals and jars. There's online phone apps you can use as well, or you can even just use like notes pages on your phone. So if you're traveling around a lot, you still have that opportunity to make notes. And there's, meeting up with people is another great way to share and connect with gratitude and talk it through with people. And there are online groups as well that you can join.
It really sounds to me that you have practiced it in a way that made it a habit for you, so that you don't have to watch carefully how often you do it. But for someone who is new to that, what would be your advice? What's a good way to start?
I would say give yourself permission to connect with gratitude whenever and however you want to. And that may well be, to start with, to try and connect with that every day. Because as we talked about before, the more we can get the brain used to those pathways, the more it's going to become a natural part of your day.
Yeah.
So I would suggest take a little jar or a book for a week and write down 3 things every day that you're grateful for, perhaps just before you go to bed. It's a great way to wind down at the end of the day and to really go to bed on a positive note. And also remember that these are things that you're grateful for, not how you're being judged by others. So they can be, as I say, really tiny things. It could be that you got a car parking space when you went to the shops, or you had a good journey to work, or you had your favourite meal. It doesn't need to be anything life-changing. It's whatever's just touched your heart and made you smile.
Yeah.
And really try that for a really good 7 days, and then look back at them and read them back out to yourself, and really just connect with that appreciation of what's been there for you that week.
Yeah. I think the practical part is really important. Otherwise it could sound like such a nice concept, but theory and the practical application makes such a big difference. Great. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom and experience around that. Is there anything else you would like to share?
I think I just would like to say thank you for this opportunity today, and I'd love to leave the listeners, or thank you for listening, but also just with a question of, when did you last take a walk with gratitude? What would it be like to just take 5 minutes out today and to really practice it?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I will take that on. Thank you for being here, and please also let our listeners know how they can find out more about you. Share your website and your email, or what else you'd like to let them know, please.
Thank you. Well, I have a website, which is www.Enkindle, which is ENKINDLE, lifecoaching.com, and you'd be most welcome to have a look there. There's also links on there because I have written some posts about gratitude for Huffington Post as well, so there's some information on there on how you can get started. The other alternative is, for any of your listeners who use Facebook, I have something called a Happy to Be Me Hub, which is a closed Facebook group for those that are starting out in gratitude to come into the group. And it's a small community who share with each other what's made them smile, and they post some pictures up as well, just to help them get into that mindset of connecting regularly as well. So people would be most welcome to come and check that out.
Fantastic. so many opportunities to connect with you. Great. Then I'm very grateful for having had you on the call. And goodbye, Nicola, and all the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.